Okay, I think we're going to start. Thanks everyone for coming out tonight on such a beautiful night. The weather is so good outside, so nice. It feels like spring's here. Now Caroline told me I need my winter coat tomorrow. So maybe it's going to be short-lived, but it is nice. So thanks for coming inside on such a beautiful night to get a campaign update and talk about the issues that are important to you. And I'm running for Attorney General because we've lost trust with our institutions, the media, the government, even some with each other. But we don't need to accept that. Things can get better, but we need to make them better. And our campaign is doing that. When I'm Attorney General, we're going to do three things. We're going to fight crime. We're going to support the police officers in a way they haven't been supported. We're going to get more police officers, and we're going to hold them accountable the way that they should be held accountable. We're going to work with the judges and stop this no bail, low bail nonsense that they're doing. Hey, come on in, no worries. Every food's here, that's a good thing. And also, we're going to work with the county attorneys. We're small-minded government people, and our judicial system works best when the people closest to the people are able to bring out that justice, just like our city councils are critically important. So we're going to work with our county attorneys to make sure that they have the tools that they need and that they're supported. Come on in. Oh, no worries. Food looks so good. What did we order here? What's your soup today? We got narrow.
Roasted tomato.
Roasted tomato. Oh, that sounds delightful. Looks good. So we're going to support the police. We're going to get more police. We're going to get the judges in line. We're going to hold them accountable. And we're going to get the county attorneys. We're going to give them the support they need so they can do their jobs. Number two, we're going to fight the broken machine. When the state government doesn't do what it's supposed to, we're going to hold them accountable. That includes bringing the Secretary of State to court, like last fall, when he circumvented our legislature, went around them and created election law. Changed that election forever. We'll never know the impact as to what happened. We won't let that happen when I'm Attorney General. It includes holding our governor accountable when he does illegal things like mask mandates, shutting down some businesses but letting other businesses selling the same products, keeping them open down the road. That's wrong. When our president says remember when our president said if you work for a business that has 100 people, you need to take the vaccine? Thank goodness a judge struck that down. But they're not giving up on this. We know that. We need to continue to fight for medical freedom. I will do that when I'm Attorney General. Number three, we're going to end human and sex trafficking. 2 months ago, we announced a task force commission to study this. Minnesota is near the top. We have more people, human and sex trafficking in our state than almost all other states. So our human and sex trafficking is unacceptable, what's happening. A measure of society is often said how we treat the most vulnerable members. And we are having women and minorities and our children involved in this human and sex trafficking, and no one is paying attention. Our Attorney General, his defense is that, well, he has a task force, and they meet every quarter. I tussled with the reporter last Sunday at WCCO, maybe you heard it, and she was defending Keith Ellison, saying, well, they meet every quarter. I said, the numbers keep getting worse. What difference does it make how many meetings they have? She was touting about how they're using technology in ways that's never been used before to help combat this problem. So when our numbers keep getting worse, it doesn't make a difference. We will end that when I'm Attorney General. Now, every chapter of my life has prepared me to be Attorney General. I grew up not too far from here in White Bear Lake. My dad was a milkman. Does everyone remember the milkman? Yes. So my dad raised me. He was a single parent, and I was on the milk route all the time. If I wasn't in school, I was on the milk route. I'd run the milk up to the door. I'd run the milk up to the cute little milk box that's decorated with such care. I often put the milk in the refrigerator. My dad had over 500 keys to customers' homes. Over 500. I mean, Imagine a service person having 500 keys to homes in their neighborhoods in this day and age. That's where I first learned how to build trust with people. Later on in my youth, I got involved in the bicycle motocross sport, BMX. Turns out I was pretty good. I was ranked in the top 10 in the world. I won national championships. It's where I learned how to develop my competitive edge. I went to college in Fargo, North Dakota State University. Go Bison. We had a pretty good football season. I worked for a while, saved some money, then I went to law school at night at William Mitchell. And the day after I got my license, I opened up my own practice. And for over 22 years, I've been helping families and individuals and businesses in their moments of need, their moments of crisis, helping them plan for the future. The only advertising we've ever done is the back of the church bulletin. I got the upper left-hand square of the back of the bulletin. It's a great spot. We're never giving that one out. I've got two great kids. They're on the back of the palm card, Lillian and Buck. And Buck is especially happy with his COVID hair that he has sporting in that. A couple of nights ago, we were someplace, and in fact, we were with Mr. McCullough was there. We were Representative Cal Barr was there. And Representative hasn't cut his hair since pre-COVID. And he's got a very ambitious and aggressive and authoritative ponytail working. And it looks great on him. And I made a joke during that about how his hair resembles Buck's hair in the photo on the back of a palm card. And they use COVID as a reason. But he also uses that we're a hockey family. And we played hockey. I played hockey my whole life. I still play today. If my dad were here, he would tell you that I learned how to skate before I learned how to walk. And I don't know if that's true or not. That's a good Minnesota story. But I taught my kids that great game. I coached them for 16 years. I became president of the Osseo Maple Grove Hockey Association. And for all the hockey parents in the crowd tonight, you know that these hockey parents, they're special people. They have a special kind of passion. And I governed with such fairness and transparency that they re-elected me president, something very rare in the hockey world. It was good training ground for the legislature. Someone on our board joked that it's more difficult to be the president of the Hockey Association than it is to be a legislator in St. Paul. And making laws for all of us to live under. And I got to find out if that was true or not. In November of 2014, I was very proud to win my election, and I became a member of the Minnesota House of Representatives. And when I went there, I fought like heck for what we believed in. I fought for those that can't speak for themselves. I have a 100% voting record with MCCO. I fought for our Second Amendment, 100% voting record with Minnesota Gun Owner Caucus, our right to bear arms. I chief authored the largest business tax cut in the history of Minnesota. I was a bridge builder. I dealt with complex issues, the same types of complex issues, finding solutions for that our Attorney General should be doing, but we know he isn't. Now, our problems that we're facing today, they're not intractable. We do have solutions. But in order to enact those solutions, we need to have people in office. We need to start winning elections, something that we haven't done very much of. Hello. Come on in.
Sure.
We're just getting to the fun part, talking about how we're going to win elections.
That's a very fun part.
Yes. And we know we have lost a lot recently. Does anyone know how many statewide elections we've lost in a row in Minnesota? How many statewide elections Republicans have lost in a row?
I've heard the speech before, so can I say, or no?
You can guess 10.
To 10.
It's more than 10, Linda.
More than 10.
It's more than 10. It's 25. 25 times our statewide candidates have lost in a row. Now, I'm a person of the law. I'm not a mathematician. But they tell me that's not very good. Does anyone know how long it's been since we've had a Republican-elected Attorney General?
10 years?
It's been more than 10 years. Yes, it has. That is a good guess.
More than 30 years.
Very logical. It's been more than 30 years. Any other guesses?
More than 50?
More than 50 years, yes. Yes, well said. It's been 56 years. 56 years. 1966 was the last Republican elected Attorney General, Douglas Heck. That's going to change this year. In just a few months, we're going to beat Keith Ellison. And this is how we're doing it. This time we're running a candidate that can win in all parts of Minnesota. Greater Minnesota, the suburbs, and St. Paul and Minneapolis. I have a proven track record that we can win in the Twin Cities. When I represented Maple Grove and Osseo comprises just a little bit of the district, but they love it when I say that. It was a purple district, quintessentially a purple district. So purple that Hillary Clinton won my district over Donald Trump in 2016. She beat him by 5 points in that election. Now I beat her by 10. So that means I had people vote for me that don't agree with me on every issue. It's going to take that type of reaching out, that type of trust built with the Democrats in order to get them to support someone to transcend the label of a Republican. I can do that. I have a record of doing that. It's going to take someone who has the respect of their peers. I have over 25 endorsements, and the list is growing of the people that I served with in the Minnesota House and Minnesota Senate. It's going to take someone who knows how to deal with complex issues. When I was in the legislature, I had a record number 34 bills signed by Governor Dayton. A record for a two-term legislator. Hello, how are you?
Sorry.
Oh, no worries. Your BPOU is meeting in the big room.
Oh, they are.
You're welcome here, but I think you might want the other.
Yes,
You were looking for the other.
Hi, Todd.
Yeah, no problem. We'll see you time. I love it whether we have the multiple meetings with everyone stopping in. So, we were talking about the complex bills that I authored in the legislature. I was a bridge builder. My peers know that. They know I can solve the complex problems that our Attorney General is facing today because of that track record. Number 4, we're traveling the state. We're going all over. We've been in 81 counties so far since last June. 81 counties, right, Caroline? That's a lot. We've been all over. We're going to places that statewide candidates have never been to before. I don't have time for it tonight, but I have a great story about how we went someplace that people have never gone before, and they were so excited we were coming, they offered to bake us a pie. No kidding, they baked us a pie. We're going back there in a couple of weeks. I hope we get another pie. So we're going everywhere. We're listening to Republicans and Democrats and independents, liberals, independents, conservatives. Our message is resonating. Our fundraising. I'm very proud of our team with our fundraising. Last week we announced we've raised over $1 million campaign to date. Over $1 million. And this is money just not from Republicans, this is money from Democrats too. We held a fundraiser in Minneapolis, Democrat neighborhood. Only Democrats came. There was no confusion. I was the only person there. Come meet Republican Attorney General candidate Dennis Smith. And they came in and they said, Dennis, I've never voted for a Republican. And the bubble popped up in my head. I'm thinking, are they going to say 1 cycle, 2 cycles, 10 years, 20 years? I said, never. They've never voted for a Republican before.
Wow.
But this time, these Democrats are looking for a reasonable, fair, and tough Attorney General that will bring back the safety to our state, the common sense. And they think it's us because 2/3 of them wrote a check that night. That's part of the reason why why we've raised over $1 million. And we have so much cash on hand. We've been so smart with our money that we have over 2.5 times cash on hand than the current Attorney General. Now this gentleman has been in Congress for 18 years. He's been an Attorney General for 3.5. And we have 2.5 times the cash on hand that he has. That shows the reach this campaign has. That shows how we are able to connect with people. We have grassroots support all across the state, all across this country. And we're just getting started with our fundraising. We know we have 6 months more. We already set a record. We're not stopping. And with thanks to the good people in this room and the rest of Minnesota, we're going to be funded enough to take on Keith Ellison and the Democrats. Another difference that we have in our campaign is we're using technology that's never been used before in a statewide race in Minnesota. The Democrats have always had an advantage when it comes to technology. We've always been a step or two behind, not anymore. We have the same type of relational app that the Democrats have, that President Obama used when he did his community organizing when he ran for president. That how Dean Phillips beat Congressman Eric Paulson in 2018. Of the 46 seats that flipped last cycle, 42 of them, 42 were using relational apps. We're the only Attorney General campaign in the state of Minnesota that's using one. First time it's being used. It's changing how we campaign. It's keeping up with modern times. Ask a teammate, ask me about it later on. It's exciting, it's free to the end user, and it's really making a difference. So something else about this campaign is that I have the ability to go toe-to-toe with Keith Ellison. I don't crack under pressure. That's going to be important. We know how he campaigns, we know how he debates, and I've proven that I can do that. So I'm tough, I'm fair, and together we're going to get Keith Ellison out of Minnesota politics for good. So, other than the weather and the Wolves score, does anyone have anything, any questions or comments about the race?
How do you flip the suburbs?
Well, for Republicans in general or for our race specifically?
Start with you.
Yeah.
We're here for you.
Yeah. We need to have someone that can identify and talk to and listen to the people that have concerns in the suburbs, because it's not the same way where people just vote a particular party. They're voting on the candidate. We saw that where they flipped over the last couple of cycles, and we've lost a whole lot of great representatives and senators across all the Twin Cities. And we've lost them because they're not finding in the candidate that they want that's able to transcend that label. That's why our campaign is doing so well, because we're transcending that. It's not just a party. We're listening, we're understanding where they're coming from, and we're talking about the issues that are important to them.
So can the Attorney General do anything about the Social Security tax for retirees?
The Attorney General can advocate for any law or anything that's about to become law, because the Attorney General has a huge megaphone. And I
Okay.
plan on using it for important issues.
Okay.
And reducing our taxes is one of them. I recently sent out a tweet, you may have seen, it was an advertised one, so it wasn't organic. And the Democrats were making fun that I didn't understand what the Attorney General does, because the Attorney General cannot affect tax policy. Well, they should look at the Attorney General's budget, because the Attorney General is spending a lot of money for lobbyists on the Hill for initiatives. And this is tied to our overall economic health. When I was in the legislature, I voted and worked on reducing taxes in many aspects, and the taxes for our Social Security. We know that we're one of the few states left in the country that taxes that part of our Social Security. That is wrong. That's part of the reason why people are leaving. And I will work on that issue when I'm Attorney General. So we talked about the technology, swipe red. So it would be, if anyone has any questions about this, we want you to get them answered. It's a great tool to use, and it's really fun. And we have special meetings where all we do is talk about swipe red, talk about campaign things, and then we're texting. And it's fun, and most of the time, and probably all of the time, when people try it out, they can't believe how addictive it is, because you get to talk to people. And after the last couple of years of being shut into our houses and not being able to talk with people, it is really fun to be engaging with like-minded people from throughout the state of Minnesota. So ask about the swipe red if you're not using it, and we can get you set up and talk to you more about it.
When's the next telephone town hall? I've heard they were really good.
That's a great question. We are using a telephone town hall system, and it's so much fun. So you sign up, and then you get a phone call, and the next one is this coming Wednesday at 6 p.m. So it's not too late, and you get a phone call, and you can take the phone call on the go. So you can, if the weather's nice, like it is tonight, you can take it out when you're out for a walk or on the bike ride, or just sitting out on your deck enjoying the beautiful sun that we don't get to see often enough. And you say, if you want to join, just hang on, and then you join the call, and then everyone gets loaded up, and then within a minute and a half, the call starts. And there's hundreds of people on the call, and it's really exciting because people bring in their questions, and it's sort of rapid fire, and we go through all these questions. We had such success with our last one. We had budgeted 30 minutes on our campaign calendar, and it lasted 50% longer. It lasted 45 minutes. There were so many questions. Yes.
So I have so many friends that are in the inner metro. I also have friends that are all the way out to like Robbinsdale and Crystal that are saying that a lot of the violence that happened under Ellison's watch, under Walz's watch, they're very concerned about it, and that's where they're looking towards something, because a number of them are hardcore Democrats, and they're looking at you. So, what's your message that you're giving to a lot of these people that is going to give them that hope that once you get in, you're going to start cleaning up and taking care of this stuff?
Yeah, so the message is that I'm fair and I'm tough, and that together we can make a difference. And I'm hearing this all wherever we go, that the Democrats, they are tired with the crime, about the crime. They want the crime to be stopped. We're not producing more criminals. There aren't criminals coming into our state. They were here the whole time, but when there's no consequences for their actions, people will keep committing crime. So we're going to be tough on the people that are committing crime. We're going to be tough on the judges that are letting people out with low bail and no bail. We're going to be tough with the county prosecutors that aren't doing their job. And we're going to make sure that they have the tools and the resources so they can put people behind bars. That's going to make a difference. Then we're going to work with the police. We know the tone and tenor needs to change with the police. It is not right what's happening now. They know it. They know they've lost the trust of all the citizens of Minnesota. They know they have. I'm uniquely qualified to help restore that trust. We can start to rebuild that bridge and get safety back to St. Paul, Minneapolis, and all the suburbs.